everyone. Thank you for joining us for season 2, episode 2 of the Empowerment Chat, celebrating Women's History Month. Thank you to everyone that's watching the live tonight. Thank you to everyone that's watching the replay. We are using StreamYard, so please give StreamYard permissions to use your name so that we can see you and greet you by your name when you're commenting and when we're talking back to you so that we'll know who you are, right? So my name is Natasha Rivera. I am a lifestyle strategist. I am the creator of this group, Be Free Society, and I help women unapologetically redesign their lives, their health, and their well-being through faith, freedom, and fitness. And listen, y'all, you're in for a treat tonight, as I am so excited to share the mic with my sister, my favorite spicy Latina from the boogie down.
Yes.
Sheila, so excited to have her here. She's just an amazing God-fearing woman. She's my sister. She is my friend, and I'm excited that she's here tonight. I'm going to pass it over to Tosh so she can introduce herself, because y'all know how I feel about that. Nobody can introduce you better than you. Go ahead, Tosh. Talk to the people, sis.
Hello, everyone. And we are just excited. I am just as excited as my little sister is on this evening for being here with you all, being able to share this platform, being able to share myself with you all. As she mentioned, my name is Tosh Heiliger, and I'm a healthcare professional. I've been a healthcare professional for over 27 years, and I'm also a business owner of a business in Dover, Delaware, Citywide Facility Solutions of Delaware. And I'm excited to talk to you all about believing and bossing. And I know I mentioned that I'm an owner of a company. And when we talk about bossing, yes, there's bossing in terms of a business, but let's talk about bossing and bossing our own lives. Let's
Let's
talk
talk
about
about
that.
it.
Let's talk about that.
I love it. We already here. We got some viewers. Good evening. Someone is saying hey. Someone is saying hey, mommy. That must be for you, Tosh.
I think that's my baby girl on. I
That,
hope
that,
it is. I hope that's my baby
we,
girl.
we know who that is. What they talking about over here? Yo, we get ready. We are. Yes, we are. We are so excited. So, like Tosh said, it's bossing yourself. And while we're running business, you have to make sure that you're bossing yourself, right? And like the word says, we have to make sure that we govern ourselves accordingly, right? So we're gonna get into it. So before we do that, guys, I always like to tell a little story about how I met all of my guests. Tasha, we crack up at it now. So I want to say it was 2018. I want to say it's 2018. Tasha and I both attended separately. We did not know each other. We attended a prayer breakfast, and I was already seated, and someone brought Tosh over to and asked if it was okay if she sat at our table. I was like, oh yeah, sure. And y'all know how she treated me? My girl put her head in her phone, and she kept her head in her phone the whole time. She was like this, like she did not want to talk. She didn't engage. So I left her alone, right? And so I just think it's really funny how things come full circle, because I want to say like a year or so after that, we went to a couples retreat together, and that's when we started bonding. And it was just really amazing. So we just laugh about it now, because Tasha didn't want no parts of me. Tasha didn't want no parts of me in the beginning.
That was her perception, and we have to be careful with perception. That was just her perception, right? All of us have different personalities, and I was entering a room, and there were people, most of the people I didn't know, right? And so again, getting to know someone is really important, because when we took the time to get to know each other, I mean, she is really, I really consider her and love her just like a little sister. And so get to know people. First impressions, sometimes you never know what could be going on in someone's mind, right? What could be going on at that particular day, that particular moment, time in their life. And so, don't judge a book by its cover, right? And
That's
get to
good.
know the person. And she got to know me, and I got to know her. And now, the bond is just it's divine, and I'm just extremely grateful to have her as a little sis, and she imparts in me. I pray as much as she says that I impart in her.
You really do. I love that you said it was my perception, because you know what? We do make those mistakes. Like I said, and I always say this, you didn't want no parts to be, but who knows what you were going to. We went to a prayer breakfast, so we were there for something, right? We needed something, and it wasn't to be like making friendships, but I'm grateful that we got past that and we're here now. So we're gonna get into it. Y'all ready? Y'all say something in the comments. If y'all on here, let's talk, let's talk, let's talk. So tonight we're talking about believe in God and bossing. Tasha and I are both entrepreneurs. We're both believers. And we both have families. We're wives and mothers. And I just want to say, oh, I love you. Janae, I love you. Um,
Baby.
when you believe in something, it's to accept something that's true, feel sure of the truth. And when I hear that word, the truth, I think of the Father, right? Because He is the way, the truth, and the life. And so when you believe in a thing, or you believe in God while you are running a business or running your life, like Tosh says, we have to make sure that we're always going to Him for the things that we need, and we're consulting with Him and make Him our business partner and our life partner, and and all the things, all our ways acknowledge Him, right? So what do you think? And bossing is really giving is governing yourself accordingly. Basically, that's what bossing. We're doing the things, but we can't do it. Well, I'm going to speak for me. I know that what I do, I cannot do without my Father, and I can't do it without His grace, and I can't do it without His mercy. And it's very, very important for me to always acknowledge Him and put Him first whenever I do things, right down to these empowerment chats. These are all God ordained. Every person that ever comes on here and talk are the ones that God has wanted to speak. And it's because there's a message that needs to come out, and they're the person that needs to give it. So again, I'm truly, truly honored tonight to be here. Tosh, how do you juggle it? If that's even a good word, juggle bossing, momming, wifing, and believing. Like, how do you balance that?
I think that the key to it all is ensuring that the foundation is as firm as possible, and that and I'm speaking for myself, I'll speak from an I perspective, that I am deeply rooted in God. And so, God being the foundation, and that I'm continually working on that relationship with God has to be the foundation. And I have to fill myself up, because I need to be filled with Him so I can hear from Him. And so that way, everything that I do, I'm doing and being directed by Him. And then I can have what I need in terms of the tools, the resources, the energy, the stamina to be able to do all those things, and do that, and be a wife, and be a mother, and have children from teenage years to in their 30s. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm not trying to be emotional, but my baby, I call her my baby girl, our oldest daughter, is on, and having adult children who are married, a granddaughter, having a full-time job, being a healthcare professional with people that I'm responsible to, that I collaborate with and work with, and then owning my own company, and ensuring that it's a company that's built on the principles of kingdom building, because it is a company, and it's a company in a way that we want to be about God's business, right? And so, doing that, I think the most important thing is having a deep, deep connection, and continuing to seek a deeper connection with God, because God will enable, He won't give us more than we can bear. And I want to say that I will be remiss, it's Women's Month. So this is Women's Month, and every day is Women's Day, right? I mean, you know,
Oh,
we're just
and it is.
we're amazing, we're amazing beings, and I just want to say this because I want to share it with everyone as I prepared for today. I wanted to just fill myself up with and read about a woman in the Bible. And I just want to share with everyone about Hannah. Right, because we're talking about prayer and we're talking about believing. And she was married, and at that time, she was barren, and her husband had another wife. And we don't do that today,
Oh no,
right?
we don't. We don't.
Scripture about that.
It's for some
But at
people,
that
but that
time, so
ain't.
at that time, she said, God, if you give me this, right? She prayed, I'll give this child back to you. So she was barren. And not only was she barren, but she was in a situation where she was being irritated and she was being provoked because her husband's other wife was able to bear children. And that was in her face all the time. So just imagine that something that she's longing for and being provoked and not being able to give birth to, right? In that instance, it was a child to give birth to something that she was longing for. And because of her prayers and her belief, because if she prayed and she believed and said, I'm going to give something back to you, that means that she believed it was going to happen. And because of her prayers and her relationship with God and her belief, she was able to bear a son who, became one of greats in the Bible, Samuel, and I won't get into that. We could talk more about that. I just wanted to talk about her and her belief, and then just encourage you all that if there's something that you're longing for, it may not be a child, it may be a business, longing for better health, longing for a better and a deeper connection to God, longing for a relationship. If you're in a state where maybe you're single, or maybe you are in a relationship and you're longing for something different in your relationship, there is a period of time where take it to God, pray about it, and believe. And when you believe, don't be distracted by the irritants, by the irritations or things that may provoke you. Well, why is it happening for so and so? Why hasn't happened for so and so? Why is it happening for that person or this person? And when it does happen, what do you do? What do
What
you do
do
with that? What do you
you
do with that when you're longing and you're longing for this thing and it's happening here and it's happening there? What you should do is continue to pray and continue to pray that that person that is getting what you're longing for is continuing to be blessed. We need to encourage each other and be an encouragement to each other and not get that spirit of envy or that spirit of why is it happening for that person and not for me, because we're each individual and it's going to happen in God's timing. But we all have a longing. It may not be as the longing that Hannah had for a child, but it was to birth something. So there's something that we all long for. And God will do that. And He uses us women, we're the vessels, we birth, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean birthing in the sense of a child. So I just want to encourage all of us during Women's Month. That was the woman that God led me to in the Bible to read about and to encourage me to be able to encourage you all that I still have longing. I'm about to be 50 years old this year, half a century. And, not many people put all their chips in and start a business, at this age and say, I'm going to be successful and I'm going to do something different in my life. I'm going to create generational wealth. I'm going to create legacy, and I'm going to start a business in which is going to be something that's in the community that we will be able to give back to the community. Take all my years of being in the healthcare industry and being a professional and say, these are the things that I don't want to do, and these are the things that I want to do. And it's going to be kingdom business. And it's a business here in our community. So things that you're longing for, I just encourage you, be the Hannah. Be the Hannah, pray and believe that it's going to happen, and it will happen. And she not only had one son, she had multiple children. She ended up having 6 children, but just that longing, continue to believe, pray,
oh,
believing that it's going to happen, because it will happen, and it will happen in God's timing. Be encouraged. Be
ooh,
encouraged. We all have testimonies. We all have stories. My sister said Tosh from the Bronx, she has her stories of things that, she had to overcome in life. And you see us sitting here today, there's lots of things that we had to overcome in life, as children, as young adult women, and as women, and we're still overcomers. So just be encouraged. I just want to share that with you all. We're going to continue with our talks, but I just want to share with you about that piece about believing and how I'm able, the question was, how am I able to juggle and boss and be all that? And, that is one of the ways. And, my daughter always, talks and says, study yourself to be approved. And you do. Our answers are in the word. Stay deeply rooted in the word and stay connected to the vine, stay connected to the source, and just don't let go. And if you fall, you get up, you brush yourself off, and you keep it moving.
Well, we just gonna where the offering bucket at? Sis just took us to church. Listen, I don't want to say that. That's that. Go on, sister. Be the Hannah. Yes, be the Hannah. That is so good, Tosh. You said a couple things while you were talking. I was writing. In the beginning, you said fill up. You said fill up from God, and your steps are like directed by Him. And then you said you have to have deep connection, and then you said you have to keep deep connection. So that's a twofold thing. You can't just have a deep connection. You have to maintain that connection. And like she was saying earlier, you have to stay connected to the vine. The nutrients are in the roots, and if we're connected to the vine, we will always get what we need because it's coming up from beneath. But we can't get it if we're not connected, we're not attached, right? So be the Hannah. I'm over here right now, and you said, like, for real, she went from, you get me so excited because these are the talks that we have often. And you said she did not have any children, right? A barren womb, right? She went from birthing nothing to birthing 6 things. She only asked God for one thing, but we serve a God of abundance. He will always give us more than we could ever ask or imagine. She was like, if you give me this child, this son, for instance, she was very specific in her petition and in her request and in her prayer to God. She said, if you give me this son, I'll give him back to you, right? And God honored her heart because her worship was pure, because her faith was strong. And our faith, I'm going to tell you, it's impossible to please God without faith. You can be as obedient, you can do all the things, but if you don't have faith, you can't even please God. And I just think about her like that's just amazing. But I want to back it up a minute because sis was provoked. Tosh, you said provoked. That means you want to arouse me to anger. Like you want me angry. You want me to put some hands on you, sis. Like, right? And we are going to encounter people in life that will provoke us. They're distractions. And when you're building something for legacy, for your family, for longevity, to last generations, you cannot be caught up in what people got to say. Don't get caught up in how people want to provoke you to anger and cause you to lose your cool. Now your witness is off, right? So believing in bossing, you have to know how to, again, govern yourself. Be the boss of you. Have good fruit. Know how to have self-control. And when you lack self-control, you are not in control of yourself. So this was like, listen, y'all, give birth. What are you believing God to put in your womb? And it may not, thank you, powerful Janae, thank you. And believe in yourself. Yes, believe in yourself. And when you have faith, believe that God will do it. And even if I know for me, I'm believing God for a lot of things. So I'm going to be the Hannah, right? Like Tosh said, I'm going to be the Hannah because there are things in life and in business and just in my household that I am trusting and believing God for. And I have to keep my faith. And there are times where people will come in and try to just slip things in and say, whatever they are, right? It happens. Dismiss, right? Eh, we don't do that over here. You can go talk to somebody over there, but my faith has been strong since I was a kid. And I didn't even know that that's what it was then. And I speak, right, Tosh? I believe like you too. I speak a thing and then it really happens. So I have to really watch what I say, what I ask for, because I forget it sometimes a lot of times. But just be careful of who you entertain, because everybody that's even with you are not even for you while you're trusting and believing. Because what in the story, Tosh, the priest came out and he said she asked her if she was drunk.
Yeah. He asked her, was she drunk? Yeah. Was she
Asked her,
drunk?
can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Like you're pouring your heart out to God. And why did he ask her if she was drunk? Because
Yeah.
he couldn't ear hustle. He could not hear her prayers to God.
Her
And
mouth
that's,
was moving and there was no sound. Her
come
mouth was
on
moving.
now. Come on. Her mouth was moving. There was no sound to him, but it was to him. And he asked her if she was drunk. Like, seriously, though? No. And that's another thing. When you are moving and shaking and navigating through this life and doing things that may seem unusual or to people that don't have faith, kind of like Noah too when he was building the ark. You know, people were talking like, "What is this dude doing? What is he doing out here building this?" Until it started to rain. So you gotta be careful, like who you listen to. Be very, very careful, and you gotta dismiss it. Return that to sender. So, Tosh, you are on point. You are so
Yeah.
on point with that.
And I think that, it goes back to not to be repetitive, but going back to being connected and just making sure that your relationship with God is strong, and making sure that Holy Spirit is risen in you, so you're moving in that vein, and the Holy Spirit is really guiding you, so you can really be that boss. So that's the bare foundation, that you don't want that foundation to be rocky, because if it's rocky, you're going to stumble, you're going to fall, and we're already going to do that anyway. So doing that, investing in yourself, you have to invest in yourself. We were talking previously, and I was saying, there was a point in my life where I really didn't even know, after having been through some things in my life, and we could do another live on on that, and overcoming certain things in our life. And after overcoming all those things, I really didn't even know who I was. Like, what do I like? Who am I? What do I like about myself? I had to learn to really like fall in love with myself, and see maybe what other people saw that I really didn't see for myself. And then after we built that foundation, and we're just, continuous, because it's a continued thing. Your relationship with God does not stop. It's continual, and your prayers are continuous. We're supposed to pray without ceasing, and we're continuously doing that, and we're being led by God and doing that, loving ourselves, investing in ourselves, and liking ourselves, and knowing that sometimes you're going to look in the mirror. You have to ask yourself, do I like this person? Check yourself before somebody else needs to check you.
Ooh.
Check yourself.
Before you wreck yourself.
Because sometimes, because
Yeah.
sometimes we get distracted, and sometimes our plates are overflowing, right? And we're here, there, everywhere. And do I like myself? And when I'm spreading myself thin, am I not, am I, and during that time, and am I not being the wife that I'm supposed to be? Am I being less patient with my husband? And am I snapping when I normally wouldn't snap, because I'm spread so thin everywhere else? Do I like what I see right now? Oh, do I like, should I have said it that way? Was I kind of short? No, I need to check myself, right? So do I like what I see, right? We fall in love with ourselves, and we fall in love with other people. We have love for other people. And this is probably a topic for another day. But
Let's do it.
can you continue to like yourself? And do you continue to like people? I love you. Do I like you? Do you have my best interest at heart? Do I have my best interest at heart? So check ourselves. Do you like what you see? And it's okay. You can readjust. We all fall short. Like I said, I mean, that was a real live example of me being short. And I'm just being short with, my husband, because that's the person that's at home that I come home to. And I'm spread thin. So now I'm snapping because maybe I saw toothpaste on the mirror.
Girl, you are right.
Right? I
I'm
mean,
going to
I'm
go
just
back.
being real. I don't
And
know any other way to be.
no,
But, you know,
we do
but
real over here. We don't do nothing else
yeah,
but real over here.
it's important. And then when you have those things, put the work in, put the work in, believe, yes, pray, and be ready to roll these sleeves up and put the work in. And when you do, you anything that you put your mind, your heart, and your spirit to do, you can do. I can do all things through who?
Christ.
You you can, and you really, really can. And it's a mindset. And you have to tell yourself, you have to affirm those things. You have to affirm, look that person in the mirror, look at yourself and affirm those things, write things out, put post-it notes, write things on, on the mirror or post them on the refrigerator, wherever you need to, if your workspace allows for you to write things, to just remind yourself that you can do and be all that you can be. And everyone is different, and that is the beauty. That is the beauty. We all have different purposes, we all have different passions, we all have different things to contribute to make this world a better place and be examples of Christ. And the way I deliver things and what God has given me to give other people is different than Natasha, is different than other women that are all you beautiful women that are on. And just be ready and be willing vessels to be used. Put the work in, and you can be used, and God will use you to be just a positive contributor to society and to edify the body of Christ.
So yes, I love all of that. You got to feed your soul. Yes, yes, you do have to feed your soul, and you get that feeding in the Word. I do in the Word. It's praise, it's worship, it's me walking. However it looks like, because and that's really good. So I'm grateful for that comment. And yes, check yourself. And remember that song, "Check Yourself Before You Wreck Yourself." Before you wreck yourself. Not just that, but you can damage others also, because if you're not right, then you're out here bleeding down on the people. And now, how are you going to build people up when you're cutting them down because you had a rough day, right? It goes back to bossing and being a boss of yourself and governing yourself accordingly, right? So, yes, that feeding your soul, it looks different for all of us. It looks different. I may not feed my soul the same way Tosh feeds her soul. I may not feed my soul the way that Janae feed her soul. It looks different, and it looks different for all of us. But that thing that that you run to, when you run to it, that's how you feed your soul. Me, it's walking. I love walking. I love being outside. I just get the downloads and I'm just in the air. The breeze is on my face or the sun is on my skin. And that is how I get charged up. And some people like to lock in and do something. For some people, like to go out for a car ride. I like to sit in parking lots sometimes and just sit in silence. So it looks different for all of us. And that's the beauty of how he created us. And he wired us all different. And he wired us all to do the thing that we're called to do the way that we're supposed to do it. Because I'm not Tosh. Tosh not me. I'm not y'all. She's not y'all. Y'all aren't us. Right? And yeah, and it is hard, someone says. Yes, it is really, really hard to like yourself, to love yourself. I know I had sometimes I got, like Tosh said, check yourself. I really got to look in the mirror at myself. I'm like, you need to get yourself together. Get yourself together. Get it together. Because I don't, and it's true, it's like, I don't even like your attitude. You are stank today. And then those are the days, Tosh, that I may just retreat a little longer because I'll disconnect socially. That way I'm not intentionally hurting someone or indirectly hurting someone because I'm in my emotions. And guys, it's okay to feel your emotions and sit with yourself. And I always say you have to mentally, Latasha said, is a mental thing, is a mindset. I always say you have to mentally arrive before you can physically show up. Because if your mind is not made up when you arrive physically, if this isn't matching what they're getting, you should just stay on home or stay where you were at and just don't put your hand to the thing. Because what does the word say? Put your hand to the plow, right? Don't look back, right? You're unfit. Like, you cannot put your hand to the plow and be looking back. Ain't nothing back there. You cleared those hurdles, right? That's in your rear view. Forward is the way. And look up to get forward. So yeah, we are all differently. And yes,
And yeah, and we all work differently, and I just encourage you to really embrace the differences. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be challenged. It's a beautiful thing to have conversations with people that think differently than you. And that is really how we progress as a people. That's how we who are business owners are able to move and elevate our businesses. That is for those of us who work on a team, right? Because you need those differences. If everybody on the team, you're trying to solve a problem and everyone on the team thinks exactly the same, you're not going to get the same end result as if you have 10 people that have 10 different thoughts and ways of thinking and ways of strategizing. You're going to come up with a better end result because of those differences. And it is really something that we should embrace. We really should embrace those differences. And we are all different and we are all unique, and God intentionally did that. And we should really embrace that. And just about the hard work, I just want to go back to that because it really is. And nothing comes easy. Nothing comes easy. And there are many of us, I'm sure, that are on here that have been able to overcome things in spite of, that have been able to overcome things in spite of. And that is not easy. That's hard work to be able to overcome in spite of
yeah,
something. So, again, I don't want to keep harping on Hannah, but be the Hannah in spite of being provoked and being, buttons being pushed, in spite of. So, in spite of, it takes work. It takes work. It takes work, and the reward is beautiful. So don't get discouraged that, yes, it is hard. This race is hard. Times are tough. The world's a crazy place at this time, in this point in time. So it is tough. It is tough. Nothing's easy. And God makes it easy because He gives us the provision that we need. He gives us the tools and the resources. And this is something that I talk about a lot. Sometimes we want certain things when we talk about tools and resources or support. We want it the way we want it. And sometimes we just have to remind ourselves we will get it the way God gives it to us. And sometimes you can be missing what it is that God has sent you because you want it the way that you want it, who you want it from, where you want it from, when you want it, how you want it. And again, if we stay connected and we make sure that we are actively working on that relationship, it allows us to be able to hear from God and know, I have sent you what you need. I am giving you what you need. You do have what you need. The resource is there, the tool is there. Look, it is there. So just be mindful that it doesn't come sometimes packaged up the way that we think it should come packaged up. And sometimes we recognize that, and other people don't recognize that. And you don't have to explain it to anyone else because some things may seem unconventional to other people, or they just may not understand. But as long as you understand and you are clear that it's come from the Lord, you are clear that it comes from the Lord, and you haven't made yourself think that it comes from the Lord and really didn't, because sometimes we can do that. We can convince ourselves that it's God talking to us or it's God saying, and it hasn't been. Or maybe I'm just talking for myself and then I've learned the hard
you
way that it
have.
wasn't. But, it's just me. But anyway, just, make sure that we're mindful that we are paying attention and listening and seeing the signs and knowing that he has sent what we need. He is sending what we need, and it may just not look or come in the way that we think that it should. So
Oh my
just be open yourself up to that. Open yourself up to that because it may not look the way you want it to look. It may not feel the way you want it to feel, and it's right there. It's right there.
God. We're just going to pause a hallelujah moment right now. You said so much in that, like, that's like an onion, and they're just layers to peel back because really it goes back to your heart posture, right? You said we want it how we want it when we want it. but we're not going to get it until he says that we can have it, until he knows that we are mature enough to handle it. And I had a conversation with someone not long ago, and they said it was something said, and I was like, I'm not trying to rush God because I don't want to fumble the blessing. I want to make sure that I can manage it well, that I can steward it well, right? So even though I it's my prayer and petition, I don't want it any faster or sooner than he want to give it to me. So we have to make sure that our will, like it can't be like magnets. Our will have to really line up with his. It can't be like this, my will, his will. No, you better bring yourself on down. Like you said, check yourself and get in alignment with his perfect will. Because in his will is where your blessings are, not outside. In his will is where the grace is, not outside. In his will is where the mercy is, not outside. Because the worst thing to do is to have the things and not God. That's a dangerous place to be. And I don't ever want to be in that place. I want the things and I want my God. Because I know he is the source with the resource with the source. He's the source with the resources. He has everything that I need. He's kept me since childhood until now. Before I even got saved, I'm not letting him go. I am not about to drop God off like he's a student at the bus stop, right? And Tosh, even in getting what we ask for, I want to go over this because what I see a lot is we pray like Hannah, and we are in anguish like Hannah. We cry and we snot, and we'll fast and we'll pray and we call our friends and we do all the things, right? While we're in anguish, while we're desperate for that thing. But when we get the thing, we forgot what we promised God. Like Hannah said, I'm going to give him back in all the days of his life, right? He's going to serve you. So many people have made promises to God, and that's a bad, bad thing. And if that has been your thing, you might want to go and repent because it's time to pay up. God came through on his promise. It's time for you to come up off of yours. But sometimes it's lack of confidence or it's fear. Well, you weren't fearful in all these things when you were asking God for the things. Pay up. Pay up. Give him what you said you were going to give him. Do the work. We are not here to sit around and twiddle our thumbs. We are here because he put us here to win souls for the kingdom. And you can't do that in part and sitting on your hands. So it's time to run it. Run it up. Give him what you said you would give him in your anguish, in your distress, in those prayers. You know what they are. He didn't forget, and he know what they are too. So I just think that those type of lies, that we shouldn't even be doing that. It's kind of like back in the day. I'm gonna go off worldly for a minute. And I used to drink real good back in the day, and I'd be hugging that porcelain bowl, and I'm like, oh Lord, if you just get me through this, I won't do this no more. Next night I'm doing it again, right? It's like a lie. I'm gonna get off of that, but it's like that now. Yeah, thank God for Jesus. But what do you think about that, Taj? Have you I just think it's very important to come up off of it and come up off of it immediately.
Yeah, I agree. And again, it just goes back to if you continue that relationship, if you continue working on that relationship, you won't forget those things that you promised, that you prayed about, and you said, God, if you do this, I'm going to do that. And it's as simple as just staying in God's perfect will for your life and being led by him. So if you know how your reception is with the Wi-Fi, the further you get away from the reception, you're like moving over here, moving over there with your cell phone because you're losing reception. And when you get close, the phone call is clear, it's not dropping, or you can use the internet. So the closer your relationship is, it's just like the Wi-Fi. And the stronger that signal is, and you're able to communicate, you're able to talk, and you're able to listen, and you're able to execute, able to talk, and you can hear because the connection is strong, and then you're able to do those things that you petition in prayer that you would do. God, if you do this, I'll do that. And sometimes the prayer should just be whatever it is that you need, and then, God, you use me, right? You do what it is that you see fit for me to do. And we need to live our lives in a way that if we don't even utter the word God, we don't utter the word Jesus Christ, that our light is always shining, that we have the attributes of God, that you have the attributes. So when people see you, there's just something different. You don't have to even say it, right? They just, Tosh, I just feel comfortable talking to you. I just want to talk to you about this. I just feel so much better. I don't know what it is, right? And I don't even have to say it. And sometimes I offer prayer if it calls for it. And I just let God use me. And sometimes it's just I don't even know what it was, but just I'm fine now. I don't even know why I was acting that way, right? Because we had patience, because we listened, because we gave sound counsel, right? We're doing these things. We're just striving to just live every day to be Christ-like and offer those things that Christ offers us, that unconditional love, that no judgment-free zone, that okay, you don't look like me. Okay, you don't talk like me. You don't act like me. Okay, what does that mean? You're a unique person and you're an individual. And I'm still letting my light shine, but let your light shine unto others so that way you can draw them. And they can wonder, what is that? And how do you handle things that way? How were you able to handle things that way? So sometimes I don't have to come out the gate talking about the God that I serve, because I live that life. And then people ask me, right? They're going to ask me, well, Tosh, how are you able to be so calm? How are you able to, you do what? How are you able to do all these things, right? And then I bring it back to everything that I've shared with you all this evening. And so they're asking me, and then I'm able to impart in them. And what sparks their curiosity is just how I go about, right? The way I handle myself, the way I carry myself, and the way I try to let my light shine. And that's not with perfection. I'm not saying that that's not with perfection. I'm not saying that I don't have moments. I'm not saying that I haven't been delivered from all those things. Like Natasha said, I grew up in the South Bronx in the 70s and 80s, and there was certain things that you had to do to survive those streets at that time. And the school of hard knocks hard knocks showed me a lot. And and it was all part of my making, because it helped me to be this, I think, this strong person that I am. And so I'm not saying that I get it perfect every time. I'm just sharing with you those things that, again, it's a daily thing, just getting up every day and doing it over and over again, and just trying to live a life that's Christ like, and letting my light shine. And I'm not saying that it shines 24/7, and I don't have times that I stumble, and I don't have to get up and brush myself off, don't have to go and apologize, or don't have to be like, that really wasn't the best way to handle that really wasn't the best way to do that, to say that, that wasn't really the way I should have done that. And it's okay, right? And then you have to ask God for forgiveness, and then you go and you try to make it right if you can, and then you just keep at it every day.
Every day, repetitive. Do it until it becomes your lifestyle. Talk, hear, do. Talk, hear, do. I love that. I'm gonna like that needs to be on some. And you heard it here first. um, I feel like going back to the Boston part, because it's when you take care of God's business and when you store the things that He's given you well, and you handle His business, He will handle your business. So we don't have to beg and plead with God for the things that He already want to give us. He knows the desires of our heart. He knows us so well. He knows how many strands of hair are on our heads. So we don't have to beg and plead because the things that he wants to give us are already there. But it's our faith that activates it. Our faith gets his attention. And our faith provokes God not to anger, but to move in love for us. And he just gives it when we're in obedience and when we're in alignment. And like you said earlier, Tosh, you just have to like, okay, God, what do you want me to do? It's like, okay, your will be done. And every morning, you guys have probably heard me say this on other chats and stuff. Every day, this is my talk with God every day before I get out the bed. These are my cups. I throw my cups up and I say, Lord, I go through my thing. Who can I help today? What do you want me to do today? I need my cups, my will in exchange for yours. And literally, me doing this is me emptying out me and whatever he want in my cup is what I will release that day. So people get the love of God. They don't get Natasha. And like Tosh was saying, when you're about that life, you just show up and you just stay lit. You just lit. And people like, oh man, your energy is good. Like you got, because I'm lit. Like she said, I'm about this life. We ain't new to this. We're true to it. We are true to this walk. And believers, you can be lit. Like you see us, you see the women that I have around here. We the bomb. We don't have to be stuffy and all the things. You can love God and be dope. He made us each unique. He gave us swag. He gave us a vibe. Like God gave us all this. This is how he made us. Your personality and the way you talk, I'm loud because I'm from Jersey. Tosh loud. She from New York, right? But we spicy. But this is how he wants to use us for the ones that we're called to. So don't diminish how you talk or how you walk or how your personality. Be you. Be who he called and created you to be. Like, and just handle his business so he can handle yours. It's 6:46 and we respect time. Yes, you can hear him clearly. And I want to say this goes back to when Hannah was talking. Yeah, he can hear very clear. And we hear him clear when we're connected. Right, absolutely. So we're going to open up for Q&A because we would like to respect time. And we appreciate you all joining us tonight. Do you have any questions for Tosh or myself? Please drop them in the chat and we'll answer them, answer all of them. And if you guys drop questions in after the broadcast ends, I'll go back in and I'll make sure that you get the answers to your questions. But please ask away. Ask away. Don't be shy. Talk to us.
And also it's not, it's questions. I'm happy to answer any questions. And also, there may be women on here that want to impart something and share something yourself. There's something that you want to say. There might be a word, there might be a scripture, there might be a phrase, it might be your go-to. Whatever it is that you feel that you want to ask, whatever it is that you feel that you want to say, whatever it is that's on your heart, this is our space, our time. And you're free, free to do so. And while we're waiting for things to pop in, one of the things that I live by is it's bigger than us. It's bigger than us. And that's really big for me because that is why I do what I do, and how one of the reasons why I move in the way that I move, because everything that I do, the decisions that I make are bigger than me. They're bigger than my husband. They're even bigger than my immediate family. They're for generations and generations to come. Everything that we do is bigger than us. The connection that Natasha and I made at that, retreat, it was bigger than us at that retreat. Everything is bigger. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than us. So if there's something on your heart that you just want to put that's not a question, please do so, and let us know. Did also give us feedback. We wanted to come on here, and time is the most precious thing that you can give anyone, because it's something that doesn't have a value to it and you can't get it back once you give it. So you gave your time, and we appreciate that you gave your time to be here with us, and it encourages us, and we, our prayers that it encourages you. And we thank you. Thank you. I thank you. I know Natasha does from the bottom of our hearts, because you gave up something that is one of the most valuable gifts that you have, which is the gift of time that you can't get back. And you chose to be here with us this evening. So thank you. Thank you so much. We have something that came in. What a good word. Truly a jump start to my spirit. And that is a blessing. That is a blessing. And hopefully it's a jump start to your week, to our week, right? Tomorrow's Monday. And for some of us, that's the beginning of our work week. Some of us who have small children is back to the routine of getting them on buses and homework and all that. And it's just so great to be able to fill yourself up. Um, at the beginning of the week, anytime, but
Yeah.
certainly at the beginning of the week. So we appreciate that comment. And thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you, Narissa. I love you, girl. And guys, this is why I like to do these on Sunday nights. Because I remember when I was working for the employer, Mondays were really tough for me. Um, Mondays were really tough, so Sundays were a really rough day, and Saturday, Friday night, and Saturdays were like the only days of my weekend that I enjoyed, because Sunday I started to get depressed because I knew what I was going into on Monday. And if I had somewhere like here, like Be Free and these chats to just, like Narissa just said, jumpstart her spirit, and kickstart her week, like that would have been amazing, you know? And so that's why I do these chats on Sunday, because it's edification. Where it's meant to edify you to go on and pursue your week and pursue your day, to pursue your next hour. And so, um, and Tosh said, yes, if there's something on your heart you want to share, please do. But if it's private and you don't want to be as transparent, please feel free to message me. You guys know I will respond. Reach out to Tosh. A good way to stay connected with Tosh is you can follow her on her Facebook page, Tashima Galarza. Um, you can follow her. You go ahead and send her a message, or message me, or message both of us together. It's totally fine, and you'll definitely get your questions answered. If you want prayer, reach out. We'll do that for you too, and with you. Whatever, we're here to serve. And Tosh and I both have servant hearts, and that's why this works. So if there's a need or whatever, if you're not too shy, I don't want anybody to miss their breakthrough, right? Um, just get what you need when you need it from us. So in closing, Tosh, you have anything else to share with the beautiful ladies?
I think one thing is, like I said, it's Women's Month, and every day is Women's Day, but it's Women's Month. So I would encourage you to reflect on the women in your life who have inspired, encouraged, have lifted you up during your lifetime, and share your gratitude and receive the gratitude from others, because I'm sure you all have been just that to other women. So give that gratitude and receive it. And I'm giving my gratitude and my thankfulness to my little sis for inviting me to be here this evening and to be able to share, what was on my heart. And again, I know she said it, and I'm just echoing what she said. Please reach out to me. You can reach out to me on Facebook. You can send me a message. And Natasha and I are always willing to pray. We are certainly prayer warriors, and we don't take it lightly. I don't take it lightly. If I say I'm going to pray for you, I'm praying for you. If you want me to pray with you, I'm praying with you, and I'm praying with you with the expectation that God is going to move. And so, again, just thank you. And again, I just encourage you to, you know, give that gratitude to those women in your life that have done just that to you.
Oh, thank you guys I love that, Tosh. I love you, and thank you. Thank you
Love
guys
you
for rocking
too.
with us tonight. Thank you for your time. And again, reach out if you have any questions. We're out of here. Love you. And hey, if you didn't change your clocks yet,
Oh,
go to,
yeah, do that.
and it's 6:53. It's still daylight out. I am hype. Okay. So you guys have
Almost
a good,
full time.
Oh, I'm so here for it. I can't wait. You know, I live for it. But I love you guys. Seriously, sincerely, go and crush your goals. Do the God thing. Just remember who you are and whose you are. And I'll see you next week, 6 o'clock, same time, same place, different chat. Love y'all. Later.
Love you all. See ya.